Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Professor Gray here, and it's week 4 of our course. Can you believe it? Week 4 already? We're halfway to the midterm? I think we just started. Well, time flies, and as you can see, our semester is really flying by quickly. Got emails from all of you last week. Great. A few of you asked some good questions. Most of you said that you're doing well. You're getting the material done well. I know it's a lot harder when you're not in class and not with me, but I get the feeling that you're doing your best and you're understanding it as best as you can. And most importantly, you're giving your best effort. As long as you're doing your best and practicing, following what I say, practicing the techniques that we learn, you will improve. Okay? But a lot of it is up to you. And right now, it seems all of you are taking that responsibility well. Keep it up. Remember, all questions are good questions and all mistakes are good mistakes as long as you learn from them. Now, we talked last week about vocabulary, and a lot of you are a bit, concerned because this is a difficult skill. Vocabulary in context is not easy, but it's a foundational skill. It's a basic reading skill that you use to improve all of your reading abilities. So it's very important to just focus on it and practice it. Now, there's only 4 passages that we practice, but you're going to get vocabulary questions again and again. It comes up in all the review exercises, and it's on all the tests and so on and so forth. It's good to just practice. Now, if you have trouble with the work, there's 2 options. One is to email me and ask me questions, and the other is in the next week's video, I will go over and hopefully explain where the clues are and how to find the answers to some of these questions. Okay, let's get into it. The homework began on page 14. Okay, page 14 of Unit 1, which is vocabulary and context. Autism. Autism is it's a disorder that many people have. Now, when I was young, we didn't know much about autism. We thought autistic people were, crazy, or something was really wrong. Well, yeah, they have some troubles, but really, they're very normal people, they're very intelligent people, sometimes incredibly intelligent people. But it's almost like a perfect, beautiful computer, and there's one wire missing, or wires are misconnected, or one thing is a little bit wrong, and so that problem sort of comes out sometimes in a strong way. But when it's not coming out, everything is normal or even better than normal. Now, from the time I was a young man, the amount of study, a lot of study, work, science, doctors have focused on autism and autistic people. And so the amount of knowledge about them and the condition is so much more. So much has happened in just my lifetime. This is a positive sign for all science and all problems that we face. One reason is there has been a lot of focus on autism in movies, TV, things like that, books. So it's been encouraging the general public to understand autism better. Okay, a developmental disorder. Development in your mind, as you grow up, as you get older, everything develops. Severe behavioral abnormalities. AB is an unusual prefix in English. It means not. It's like UN. It's like unnormal or not normal. But a few words have AB, ab. Abnormal meaning not normal. Primary areas of functioning. Primary here means the basic or the main, not primitive. Primitive means like something simple, rudimentary, basic. Here, main meaning sort of foundational or main areas of functioning. The first, pri means first. So the first here meaning the basic or the base. Okay, again, primitive sort of means simple. The meanings aren't the same. Its onset is often early. Now, it generally makes itself known. Makes itself known shows shows up, begins, or as doctors say, manifests itself. Now, what is this saying? When it shows up, it manifests itself. It shows means the beginning. Make itself known means the start, the beginning. Therefore, onset is D, the beginning. Okay? Onset, to set out on something is to begin, to set out on a journey, to begin a journey. It's not a single disease entity, single one, but instead a syndrome. Not one, but syndrome must mean plural, many, A. Number 8 is A. Concurrent set of symptoms, S. Symptoms are signs. When you go to the doctor, he or she will say, what are your symptoms? Meaning what signs? Oh, I have headaches and my ear hurts or something like that. Those are signs, symptoms that something is wrong in your body. Number 9, this is a tough one. It most likely has multiple etiologies. Maybe that's a new word. Rather than, what is rather than? Opposite. Single causative factor. Okay, what words connect here? Multiple and single, right. Yeah, they connect, they're opposite. Okay, multiple, many, single, one, but you see the connection. So multiple and single are opposites. Rather than is opposite, right? X rather than Y. So we have opposite and opposite, like negative and negative. They cancel, just like math. 2 negatives cancel, become a positive. So if those cancel out, etiologies equals causative factor. Etiologies means causes, number 9C. You can approach it like math sometimes when you look at the grammar and look at the clues. Always look for words that connect. Number 10, with respect to here, now this doesn't mean respect like respecting your teacher, your grandfather, your grandmother. No, this is about. With respect to momomo means talking about momomo. B, in regard to means talking about something, regarding. You know, if you have time, if you're interested in autism, there's a very, very famous movie from 1988. It won the Best Picture Academy Award called Rain Man. Rain, like raining, Rain Man. And an excellent movie. It was about autism and an autistic person. A very famous actor named Dustin Hoffman played the autistic person. And he also won, I think, the Best Actor Award. Really, really brilliant movie. And actually, to be honest, this movie was very popular and was one reason people learned more about autism. Okay, media, movies, TV are very useful sometimes in helping people understand things better, right? Now, a movie, if a doctor is lecturing you on autism, it's like, it can be a little boring at times, okay, thank you. But when you watch a movie, you're learning about something by seeing it in real life, and it's fun and it's interesting. Now, I love doctors and love listening to them, but you understand what I mean. Watching a movie is fun, and you can learn from watching a movie. And I think this movie helped a lot. By the way, a very young Tom Cruise was the co-star in that movie, and that was one of his first serious movies. Tom Cruise was in sort of, young people movies, handsome young guy, not really serious, but fun for young people. And then he, instead of just playing a handsome guy, he played a real sort of regular person in Rain Man. And it kind of started his acting career in he played more serious roles from that. Okay, again, Rain Man. If you're interested, you can try to see it. Very good movie. Parasitic plants. Okay, a parasite is something that doesn't get its own food. It gets food from other people. Of course, the famous movie in Korea last year, Parasite, was a very interesting example of that, of a family being that way towards another family. Very interesting movie. I love that movie. Notice they don't produce their own food from the sun's energy. Okay, that's called photosynthesis, Gwanghapsong. That's a good scientific word to know, photosynthesis. Photo meaning light, getting energy from the light, from the sun. They do not need sunlight to survive, okay? So they're found in umbrageous areas, Okay, now look at the clues. Umbrageous, new word. Okay, I never use this word. Almost nobody does. But it's kind of an academic word, and here it is in TOEFL. We got to learn it. More importantly, don't spend the rest of your day memorizing umbrageous. Okay, that's not the point here. The point is memorizing or understanding how to find the answer. That's what this is about. And what do we know? Always focus on what the sentence tells you. Don't need sunlight. Okay? They are in umbrageous areas rather than areas exposed to sunlight. Well, if you're exposed to direct sunlight, the sun is on you. If you're not, you are in a shaded area. See, an area with shade means an area where the sun is not directly on you. And that, if you look at the word umbrageous, U-M-B-R, what other word starts with U-M-B-R? Umbrella. Umbrella means little shade, right? Now, an umbrella, of course, blocks the rain, but the original meaning of umbrella is to block the sun, to give you shade. And of course, today on a hot, sunny day, you see many, many people with umbrellas. Haustoria. This is a tough one now. Parasitic plants attach themselves to host plants. Okay, there's the host plant, some strong plant. The parasite comes in and connects to it and takes out all the energy, the food, the nourishment, right? That's what a parasite does. And it attacks the stem here, right? These are the leaves and the flowers, and this is the stem. And then underground, we have the roots. So the parasite makes its way in, okay, enters into the roots and the stem, and like a vacuum cleaner, sucks out the energy, the nourishment. Okay, Haustoria, therefore, is how the parasite makes its way into. Okay, to make your way into is to enter or B, penetrate. Number 13 is B. Go inside, enter, penetrate, make your way in. So therefore, Haustoria must be A, right? Here's the parasite. Okay, like fingers, toes, arms, and legs are offshoots. Okay, branches on a tree are offshoots, right? Anything like not part of the main, but sort of sticking out at the end are offshoots, branches and leaves, fingers. So the offshoots go inside, and through those, it's almost like a funnel or a tube sucking the energy. A, offshoots from the parasite. It's not from the host plant. It's from the parasite going into the host plant. Number 14. Now, ponderous blooms, a bloom is a flower, can weigh up to 7 kilograms. Right there. How many flowers weigh 7 kilograms? Could you imagine, carrying a 7-kilogram flower to give to, someone on a date, your girlfriend, then she has to carry it. What is it? It's very, very heavy. Number 14 is D. Again, the context of the sentence tells you. Across, measuring across, 1 meter across a circle. Okay, the distance through something. When you go through a circle and you cut it in half to find the distance through. So you have two sides. You measure in half, diameter. Di means 2, right? Meter means measure, measuring by putting it in 2, half and half. The distance through a circle, across a circle, is called the diameter. Diameter. Okay, again, there's a lot of words here that are new. Umbrageous, Haustoria, maybe ponderous. Ponderous is something we would use, it's a fairly common word, but umbrageous and Haustoria, no. Again, you don't have to memorize those words. You just have to learn how to find the meaning in the sentence. That's what this is all about. Always remember that. Edna Ferber. Maybe you haven't heard of her, though, but that's okay. Page 16. She was very popular, 100 years ago. She wrote some very great novels and I think some, I think plays as well. And she, or some of her novels were made into plays and movies that are very, very famous and very popular. She embarked on her career. Now, what is at the beginning here? This story is in chronological order of time. So the beginning of the passage is the beginning. So to embark on your career means to start your career. Number 16 is B. To embark on a career, like when a ship disembarks, it goes out, it goes away. Embarkation means the going out, and so on. So to begin the journey. So she began her journey by working in the newspaper. Her first big break. Her big break is her big C opportunity. A big break is a chance or something great happens. So we talked about that movie Rain Man. Well, that was kind of a break for Tom Cruise. He was also very, very famous, but it was a chance to appear in a very serious sort of a Academy Award level movie, which was new. That was kind of a break too, because as you get older as an actor, you have to change the roles you play. You can't play a young pretty guy or a young pretty woman as you get older. So it was kind of a break for him. Other actors might get a big break by getting to work with Tom Cruise or work with a famous director. Okay, it's a big chance, a big opportunity in your career. Line 2, the main conflict in the novel. Now here's where you use the words you know to help you learn the other words. A conflict is a fight. Okay, conflict. Okay, every story really is some sort of conflict between good guys and the bad guys. Well, the conflict here is between a mother who places a high value on hard work. Places means to put or give. B, number 18 is B. And honor, and a son who repudiates his mother's values. Now, okay, repudiate, a conflict means against each other. Repudiate, therefore, means going against. And not agreeing, fighting against, or A, not accepting, refuses to accept. It's like, no, I don't agree. I don't accept my mother's way of thinking. Thus, conflict. Preferring the easier path, right? Hard work, honor, opposite, easy way. Takes the easy way to fortune and celebrity. It features a tenacious female protagonist. Tenacious means kind of fighting, always fighting, working hard, never giving up. If you are tenacious about TOEFL, your score will improve. If you're tenacious about learning English, your English will get better. It just means never giving up. If you make a mistake, that's okay. Keep working, learn from the mistake. Be tenacious, don't stop working hard. Protagonist is sort of the main character, the lead character, D. In a basic story, you have a protagonist, the good guy, the hero, and then antagonist, anti, against. Antagonist, the bad guy, the villain. Now, that's a simple story, of course, but that's basically, any story with a conflict will have a pro and anti, good guy, bad guy, protagonist, antagonist. Moving on. Notice actually at the end of paragraph 2, the word dilemma. Dilemma, again, DI, diameter, remember? DI, dilemma, 2. A dilemma is where you have to make a choice. There are 2 options, you must choose one, and you will lose something. Tonight I either have to, I have a date with my dream girl, or I have to stay home and study, and if I don't study, I'll fail the test tomorrow. I have to choose one. It's a dilemma. Both have good points, and if I miss one, it has bad points. This is kind of dilemma. 2 things. Next one, to take great pains here. Again, pain doesn't literally mean to hurt, painful. It means to sort of painful, like getting hit with something or cut. That's one kind of pain. Another is the hard work, like to study hard for a big test. It's not technically painful to your body, but you have to work so hard it feels painful inside. So to take great pains is to work very hard, give a lot of energy, time, and emotion to something. Number 21 is A, to work hard, to make a big effort, to take great pains to support her her daughter as a single mom. And it was made into a musical that has endured to the present. Endure, D-U-R-E means time, like duration, the amount of time. The duration of a soccer game is 90 minutes, the total time. An endurance race is a long time race. A marathon, right, is an endurance race, and so on. If something lasts a long time, it's durable. Maybe you know the battery Duracell, durable cell, durable, long-lasting battery. 23, epic novel. The key word here is novel. Okay, novel is a story. It's not. It's fiction. A novel is fiction. So an epic novel, therefore, cannot be a non-fictional story. It's a lengthy narrative. Epic is something very long, like a long story that takes place over a long period of time. Maybe you've read Samgukji, the Chinese novel. That's a novel. It might be based on real history, but it's a story. But it's a long story over a long period of time. Classic example of epic. Lengthy narrative, lengthy story. And the last one to center on is C, to focus on. When you're centered, like imagine a dartboard, or for archery, you're focusing on the center, right? You're trying to hit the center. Very good. How'd you do? I think well. Now, again, remember the point here is learning how to find the answer, finding the clues in the sentence, taking what you know. One of the biggest problems with TOEFL and all tests is that students, when you panic, when you worry, when you get nervous, you forget what you know and you remember what you don't know. And you worry about what you don't know. If you don't know the word Hastoria, don't panic. The answer is there. Find out what you do know in the sentence. What you do know it helps you. What you don't know doesn't help you. Use what you do know to help you work towards the answer. At the very least, focusing on what you do know might narrow the question down. It's either A or B. You're a lot better off than just a wild guess, A, B, C, or D. Okay, next. Today we're going to look at reference. Okay, reference. Now, a referent, skill 2, it's a little bit similar to vocabulary and context. It's to refer to something. Okay, to refer to something. So when I say the word, he is a wonderful person, or he is a nice guy. Who's he? You don't know. Not enough information. You have to refer back the sentence before. My brother is my favorite person in the world. He is a wonderful guy. He is my brother. It refers back. So words like he or she or it or that or they, those are called reference, and you usually look back in the sentence, or you look back in the sentence before and you match it. Let's look at the examples here. Tornadoes, page 17. Line 3, the rising air pushes against the colder air, rising warm air pushes against the colder air, and the rotation of the earth causes the air to spin in much the same way that water in a sink spins as it goes down a drain. Okay, a drain is the hole in the sink, or sometimes in the bathroom on the floor. Water has to go somewhere. It goes down the drain. What goes down the drain? It goes down the drain. What is it? The water. Water goes down the drain. Number 1 is B. Number 2, the pressure at the center, okay, in the middle, center, is much lower than that in the air surrounding. So the pressure of the air in the center is lower than the pressure in the air around. Surrounding means around. Middle and surrounding. What are we comparing? Air pressure, air pressure. So that in the air means air pressure. The pressure in the air. A. The pressure in the air. Pressure inside, pressure surrounding. Pressure, pressure. That refers to pressure. Last one. The low pressure creates a funnel. Funnel, galdegi. Sorry if my pronunciation is bad. Galdegi. In the middle of the tornado, which causes destruction by acting like a vacuum cleaner. So you think of galdegi funnel, you pour up, from up, it goes down and in, right? You pour something into liquid into a cup using a funnel. Well, here the funnel is sort of upside down and acts like a vacuum cleaner, sucking things up. So it's sort of a inverted funnel, but it is the funnel that does this funnel in the tornado A. Okay, it's not the tornado itself, not the whole thing, it's the funnel inside, which causes destruction. The funnel causes the destruction. Okay, as always, you should go through the whole skill introduction here on your own, page 17, 18, and 19. Definitely look on page 19 at the top, that shaded box. That's very, very important. Okay, you always must go over that. Okay, how to identify it, where to find the answer, how to answer the question. Look at how to answer the question number 2. Look before the highlighted word for the nouns that agree. Then try the noun in the sentence. The funnel causes destruction. Yes. The pressure in the air. Yes. Make sure it works in the sentence. Okay, let's do some work here together. Passage 1, animal congregation, page 19. Let's do it now. Give yourself maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Try to finish it in 3 or 4. If you need more time, it's okay, but make that your goal. Hit pause, do passage 1 only, answer the 4 questions, and then come back. Go ahead. Many types of animals combine the advantages of family association, togetherness. Okay, congregation means coming together. To congregate means to gather, like in a church. Okay, you have the minister at the front, and you have the congregation, the group, the people listening to him or her. Those conferred by membership in still larger groups. The advantages of family with those conferred by membership in even larger groups, larger than family. Number 1 is C. Advantages of being in a family and advantages of being in bigger than a family, a community or a city or a country. And then they show the different ones. Congregate, in schools of fish, gathering, living together, associate. Those are all kind of synonyms saying the same thing. The main advantage of membership in a mass community is the safety that it provides. Is it the community that provides the safety? Not unless you're a member. Otherwise, no. So the community only helps if you have membership in the community. Number 2 is B. The safety the membership provides. Number 3 is a bit easier. A large group, a small one, large group, small one, large group, small group. A. Number 3 is A. And number 4, the predator. Okay, the predator may face a confusing mass of moving bodies and may not succeed in its primary goal. Remember, primary areas of functioning, main areas of functioning, autism. Primary goal, main goal, most important goal, which is the predator wants to kill something, to eat it. We have words like predator and prey, P-R-E-Y. Prey means the animal being attacked, right? So a cat is a predator, and the mouse is prey, what the cat is trying to kill. Chromium compounds. Okay, same thing. Go ahead, read page 20, answer the questions, try to finish, again, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. If you need a little more time, that's okay. Remember, in these practice exercises, the key is working on your skill, your technique. So worry less about speed. Don't take an hour to do this, but don't push yourself quite as much. Take a little more time and focus on developing a technique. Then you use that technique when we do the review exercises, which we will see one later today. Okay, chromium compounds, go ahead. Let's take a look. Most chromium compounds have brightly colored hues, okay, colors. Hue means the color or shades of a color. And as a result, they are widely used, commonly used. They, number 5A, chromium compounds. Pigments and paints, A paint must protect the surface to which it is applied, used, or put on. So what do you do with paint? You put it on a surface. You apply it to a surface, like a wall. So what is it? It is the paint, of course. B, apply the paint to the wall. Thin uniform coat. Uniform means balanced or even, all one, sort of one balanced, even coat. Coat, right? When you cold, you put a coat on top of you to stay warm. Well, to make the wall look nicer, you put a coat of paint on the wall to give it a color. All paints consist of two parts. One is a powder of solid particles. That is the source of the color. The powder is the source of the color, the colored powder, like chalk powder. If you have chalk, red chalk, that powder means you'll have red, you will write in red or blue or yellow or white. Number 7 is A. Opaque. Opaque means you cannot see through it. Okay, like me or the wall or a desk, or most things, a chair. Most things are opaque. But if you can see through it, like a window or a glass, that's transparent, see through. And sometimes translucent, L-U-C, luce means light, and means light goes through. So, here in Korea, like there's a lot of windows, like for example, you might have a window, but you have, it's white, looks like snow or frost on it. So the light goes through, but you can't see inside. Maybe outside your bathroom door, you can't look inside, but the light goes in, but you can't see through it because there's the white, the frost, all right, snow-like on the window, and that's translucent, okay? Anyway, the color is the opaqueness, the pigment, and the other is the binder. Binder means to hold together, like a 3-ring binder holding the papers together. Is the liquid into which the pigment is blended, mixed. Mixogi, in English, that's a blender. It's a mixer, but we call it blender because blending means mixing. The liquid into which the pigment is blended. The pigment is blended into what? Into the binder, into the liquid. Into which means C, the liquid, right? The binder is the liquid that the pigment is blended into. Number 9, those refers to the oily solvents. B, the binder used in some paints is made from oily solvents such as those made from petroleum resources. The solvents that are made from petroleum or oily resources. Okay, in English, a lot of words are derived from Latin. They come from Latin. Or other words are derived from Greek or Old German or Old English and so on. Okay, they come from. What's a good example? Tofu. Tofu derives from bean sprouts. It's made from them, right? It comes from them. Okay, so we see you have the powder, which is solid and has the color, but you can't take powder, put it on a wall. That's not going to work. The powder has to stay together, bind together. How do you do that? You take an oily liquid and you mix the oily liquid to hold the particles together. Now you have paint, and you put the paint on the wall, and you have a color on the wall, but you don't touch it right away. No, why is that? Because the solvents will dissolve. Solvent dissolve in the air. After time, the wetness, the oily wet parts go away, and what stays on the wall is a solid color. The oil goes away, and now you can touch it, and you won't get the color on your hand. Okay, then homework for reading New World Epidemics. Okay, we of course know what an epidemic is. We'll talk about New World and what that means next week. Page 21. Page 22, Horatio Alger Jr. Okay, now, those are just basic practice exercises for reading, for referent questions. So don't rush, don't take forever, but don't rush. Take a little more time and focus on understanding the skill and the technique and the strategies involved. Okay. Then at the end of every 2 chapters, we have a review, 1 or 2 review exercises. Okay. Chapter 1, chapter 2, review. Then later, chapter 3, chapter 4, review, and so on. We'll talk about that more later. The chapter 1, 2 review exercise then will be a full-length passage, Coral Colonies, followed by questions from chapter 1 and 2 only. You see? So you can read Coral Colonies, actually page 24 is the page you need. And then you answer the 13 questions based on Coral Colonies. And all 13 questions are either a vocabulary from context or referent. Now, when you do these review exercises, now I want you to time yourself. I sent you an email today. There's some slight changes in that, but I'm still going to go with the 1.5 minute per question. I want to push you to get you to finish things on time. Better to be a little fast than a little slow. As I've told you, though, if you take a little more time, that's okay. You're not doing poorly or failing, but you need to push yourself with a goal to finish in a certain amount of time. Try to do Coral Colonies and page 25 in 20 minutes. This time, time it and tell me your time. Understand? Again, not the other ones. I don't need to know those times. I need to know only this one. Finish the other work, then do Coral Colonies, set a stopwatch, on your phone and tell me how long. If it took longer than 20, don't be embarrassed about it. Just tell me. It's okay. I just want to know. That's your homework from reading. Very good. If there are no questions, let's move on to the diagnostic pretest. Page 118, 119. What I often tell students when we review the listening part of our class, when we review listening exercises, is you can listen again to the files I sent you, or you can also, or you can read the script. Okay? Don't read the script when you do it the first time, of course, but when you review, you can listen and read the script together or refer to the script. It's up to you. In class, when we're together, I would play the file again and stop it, and I would ask you to read the script while you listen to the file. I think that works best. Anyway, the scripts begin on page 580, and you can sort of hold 2 pages open and go back and forth if you like. You must decide what works best for you. So, consultation, a problem with the class. So now, first thing here, look at that, okay? A student, the man, young man, is consulting with an advisor, the woman. Where are they? Well, it's the woman's office. You see the books and the shelves. And what's going on? There's a problem with the class. So right away, right at the beginning, what class and what problem? Okay? You've got to focus on that right off the bat. That's a clear hint. What class, what problem? Of course, those are key points. Of course, you need to listen for those points. All right. Hi, Brad. Thanks for coming in. What did you want to see me about? Well, okay, so the advisor asked the student to come. Maybe send him an email. Please come to my office. I need to talk to you. And sometimes that's a question. Who initiated the conversation? Here, the advisor did. There's something of a problem on your mid-semester grade report. You mean history class? Yes, exactly. The problem with a class is history class. You understand there's a problem in history class, don't you? So, number 1, main idea. There's always a main idea question. Here it is. Why is he there? Why does the advisor want to speak to him? B, to discuss a deficiency in one class. Now, notice the synonym. Deficiency means problem. A problem in a class, a deficiency in a class. Number one, B. What's the problem in history? Now, the advisor here. Now, who's in charge here? The advisor, not the student, of course. So who are you following? Well, you're following both of them, but the leader here is the advisor. So you follow the advisor's lead while you listen. Right? The student's, of course, not leading. The student's going to answer questions and follow the advisor. So do you. What's the problem? Now, what is the problem? Is that important? Of course it is. It's in the title. That's a signal for you. When the advisor, the leader, says, what's the problem in history? Ding, 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 ding. Listen now. Here comes the key point. Well, history is early in the morning. It's 9 o'clock. Well, that seems early to me. Pretty weak excuse. The student doesn't like coming at 9 a.m. to a class. Maybe it's a home day student. Ha ha ha. Okay. I know nobody likes 9 a.m. classes, but you know what? I don't either. But you still got to come because that's your job as a student, and that's his job is to come to class. So set your alarm clocks. Set your alarm clock. You do get up, you do go to history. Usually, when somebody repeats like that, it means they don't like your answer. Like when you answer to a teacher, I don't know the answer, teacher. You don't know? Means you should know. The teacher's not happy. Okay, number 3 is C. Your response is not acceptable. Yeah, that's a terrible answer. Usually, you should go every time. By the way, what's the problem? Well, the first problem here is, number 2, C. He misses classes. He is not in class all the time. Yeah, that's a problem. And yeah, that's why he's doing poorly. One reason. Okay, and the student says, you should be there all the time. I'll try. And take a seat in the front. Now, what's going on? What does an advisor do? Advises. When you go to an advisor, you get advice. She tells you what you should do. Is that important? Of course it is. So when you're listening and you see that picture, you realize, okay, there's a problem with the class. What's the problem? What's the class? What is the advisor going to do? Give advice. Are those key points? Yes. So follow them. So sit in the front of the class. You can be more involved. Get there early. Okay, pretend you're the student. Write down the advice of the advisor. Moving on. Try to get there for every class. Don't miss class. Is there any other problem? Not exactly. What else is a problem? Ding, 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 ding. Here we go. Another problem. Who's asking? The advisor. Is it important? Yes. There's your signal. There's your sign. Here's problem number 2. I didn't do well on the exam. And why is that? Well, there were a lot of questions that weren't in the textbook. And, yeah, you just read the book and take the test. It's not enough. You have to go to class, listen to the professor, take notes, ask questions, whatever. But you have to be involved in the class to be prepared for the test. Number 2 is C and D. He misses class and he doesn't know all the material for the test. Now they're connected. C causes D, but they are the 2 answers, the 2 things. Number 2, C and D. So what does the advisor do? Now, again, gives advice. Check with the professor, find out if you're missing questions because you missed class. So talk to your professor, taking good notes during the lectures, and be in class all the time. Okay? These are all the pieces of advice given by the advisor. Number 5, A, get up in time. D, talk to your professor, find out what's on the exam. And E, take careful notes. A, D, E. B, sitting in the back? No, she says sit in the front. C, speaking more in class, she does not say that. She says, sit in the front, be more involved, take good notes, but she doesn't actually say speak more. So you cannot say see. Remember, you can only answer based on what you read and what you hear. A, D, and E. Number 4 is B. Obviously, she's like, that's not a very good excuse. Usually, okay, she is not really happy with his excuses. And you don't know what's on the test? Of course you don't know, because you didn't go to class. So what do? Talk to your professor. Anyway, 4 is B. Number 6 is tough. Okay, it's a very confusing question, I think. D, the student should really consider taking a different course. No, she never says that. That's not the issue. He needs to work harder in this class. See, the advisor expects too much? No. She says, you should go to every class. Get up in the morning and go to class. That's his job. That's not expecting too much. B, history class is too hard? No. It's not that it's too hard. It's that he's not being a good student. He's not trying hard enough. B, no. C, no. D, no. A. There are good reasons that the student's grades are low. Okay. Remember, don't look for a perfect answer. Look for the best answer. B, C, and D are impossible. They're wrong. A looks strange, but A is the right answer. It's confusing. A doesn't say he has good excuses. Oh, you don't like wake up in the morning. Oh, well, that's okay. Yeah, no. The reason that his grades are low, why are his grades low? Missing class? Is that a reason to have low grades? Not knowing what's on the exam? Is that a reason to have low grades? So these explain well the low grades. It doesn't mean his reason is good. It means these are good reasons to have a low grade. These explain well why his grade is low. That's what A is saying, and it is confusing, but it is the right answer. If you're still not sure, you can ask me in an email. Psychology, sleep. Now, we're in a seminar, okay? We're inside a classroom, but it's a small group, not a full class. Professor with the glasses, 2 female students and 2 male students. 4 students, 1 professor in a classroom talking about sleep. Always listen very carefully right at the beginning. Okay, it's very, very important because that's where you get the gist, the main idea. Today we're going to review the characteristics of sleep in both humans and other types of living beings. Number 7, D. Characteristics of sleep in humans and all living animals, all living beings, D. Quite often, the main idea question is a restatement of what you hear. Then talk about the diagram, what happens to the human body. Pam says, during sleep, the muscles relax, breathing and heart rate slow down, and brain waves change. What now? Follow the instructor. What does he say? He asks a question, the student answers. Why does the student answer? Because the professor asked. Follow the professor. When you see that picture, pretend you're a student. What are you doing? What are the students doing? They're following the professor. That's what you do. His questions, they're going to be important. The answers, they're going to be important. Those are the key points that you must focus on. And the picture helps you understand that. Okay, so is her question correct? Is her answer right? Yes, exactly. Good. Therefore, number 8, A, C. Okay, muscles become relaxed, heart rate decreases. Slow down, decrease. Always listen for these synonyms. Okay, synonyms are so often the right answer. Slow down, decrease. Perfect. Moving on. Now, from there, the first half of the talk from there, it's all important stuff. You need to take notes. There's no questions on it, but you don't know that. So they're talking about brain waves, large and small brain waves. They're talking about fast and small waves. They're talking about REM sleep, rapid eye movement, REM. That's what REM stands for, rapid eye movement. And that's when you dream. and so on. So the whole talk is about brainwaves and dreaming and REM sleep. There are no questions from that, but you should take notes because you don't know that. So as you listen, follow the professor. What is this? What is that? He asks a question, listen to the student's response, write down the correct responses so you have the information. Now, there's a very important line here in the middle. Okay, let's stop for a moment and make sure it's all clear so far. Okay, listen for these signals. Who's running this? Who's in charge? The professor. What does he say? Okay, let's stop and make sure everything's clear. What does he mean? He means, okay, it's halftime. Halftime, okay? Pause. Pause button. To make sure all is clear means to go back and review everything. Make sure you understand. Clear means understand well. Make sure you understand everything important up to now. That's a very important sign for you. That means listen and you will get some review. You will hear the main points again. Listen for it and use that to check your notes. Okay, number 9 is A. Okay, stop and review the material we've covered. Now, moving on. Now, we've seen the different types of brainwave, large, slow, deep sleep, REM, all quick review. Then what does he say? Now we're going to compare human sleep patterns with the sleep patterns of certain animals. See how the professor is guiding you. Remember the main point, talking about sleep patterns in humans and sleep patterns in other animals. Part 1, first half, humans. Point. Professor says stop, review. Now part 2, second half, animals. Okay, this is how you follow and this is how you can take good notes. Go to part 2, animals. Mammals, okay? Mammals dream. Yeah, of course, you have a pet dog or a pet cat. You see them moving and shaking and when they're sleeping, they're dreaming. They're like us, they dream, mammals. Reptiles and fish, they talk about fish, no evidence that they change their brainwaves. Who changes brainwaves when they sleep? Humans, mammals, birds, reptiles. Fish don't seem to, and so on and so on. They talk about all these different kinds of animals. Well, number 10, obviously mammals have longer periods of dreaming and fish have no periods of dreaming. Birds may experience short periods of dreaming. Maybe, yes, but that's the only answer that's possible. Remember, choose the best answers. So, fish, no periods of dreaming. Mammals, longer periods of dreaming. Birds, brief periods of dreaming. Number 11, C. Yeah, the professor, okay, yeah, good answer. That's fine. Yeah. He seems happy. He's not upset. He's not overwhelmed means like too much. Like, you know, you're either negative. I have too much homework. I'm overwhelmed with homework. Can't do it. Or positive. All of the people, when I had my accident, so many people sent flowers and cards and called me. I was overwhelmed with the love and support I got, okay? A positive overwhelming. Either way, it's a lot of something. No. Number 11 is C. Number 12, again, it's a tough one. No answer is exactly right. All animals dream during their sleep. No. B. Humans are the only animals that dream. No. A and B, gone. C or D. Most animals do not have changes in brainwaves during their sleep. Well, fish don't. Only fish don't. That's not really most animals. That's just fish. D, mammals seem to dream in their sleep. Yeah. Other animals do not. Yeah, well, probably not. Birds might. C and D are both not perfect, but D is better. D is the right answer. Yes, mammals dream in their sleep. Yeah, other animals don't. Birds might, maybe, but generally other animals don't. D is not great, but okay. C, most animals do not have changes in brainwaves. No, because, well, we're animals and we do. All mammals do. Only birds don't have changes in brainwaves. and they're not most. So C is not really a good answer. D is better. D is also not good, but D is better than C. A and B are wrong. D. Number 12, D. Okay. Alrighty. Now, again, just remember how you did. Remember your score. You don't have to tell me your score or your time or anything like that. Just how you feel. Remember. Was it confusing? Was it hard to follow? Could you take notes? Did you understand the questions? Lock that in your memory somewhere in the back and come back to it near the end of the semester. You're going to compare how you felt today with how you feel then. Okay. Let's move on. Skill 1, page 125. GIST. G-I-S-T. G-I-S-T. GIST means sort of the main point, the main subject. It almost always comes at the beginning. Go ahead and listen, track 17. Listen. You can read while you listen, and then listen to all 3 tracks, and then answer questions 1 and 2. Okay, go ahead. Okay, let's just go to the questions. Why is the student there? What's the reason? When it's a student and an advisor, there's a reason. And what does he say? I have a comprehensive exam and I'm not sure what that is. So I have to do it, therefore it's required. Okay, C. He wants to learn about this requirement for his major. Number 1, C. Number 2, very similar. Really, he's talking about these comprehensive exams. They're required exams for his major, D. Number 2 is D. Okay, number 1, C. Number 2, D. Comprehensive means all, everything. So in some universities, let's say you're an engineering major, civil engineering, for example, you might have a comprehensive exam in your 4th year, your senior year, and it's not about one topic. It's about, all engineering or all civil engineering, general questions. To graduate, you must pass this test. Usually comprehensive exams are just pass, fail. You either pass it or you don't, and if you don't pass it, you have to take it again. Page 127, again, read the box here. What is the subject? What is the topic? What is the main idea? What is the purpose? Or why does the student, why do the students discuss this, What is the main point? And the main point usually is right at the beginning. Let's try one. Page 128, passage 1, consultation and engineering course. Go ahead. Passage 1 and questions 1 and 2. Okay, first one, an engineering course. Professor, I have a question about taking the engineering course that you'll be teaching. I already took this course once. I'd like to take it over again. Take it over again. What does that mean? Why is he here? He wants to take the class over. What is a synonym for take over? Repeat. Number 2 here is A, repeat a course. Moving on. At the end, the professor says you have to fill out a form. The student says, I have the form right here. I just need your signature. Okay, you seem prepared. Give me the form and I'll sign it. Number 1, what does he really need? Well, he wants to repeat a course, but to do that, he needs, number 1, C. He needs the professor to sign the document. So that's why he's there. First, the professor must agree. Second, the professor must then sign the paper. That's the reason he's there. Number 1, C. Number 2, A. Passage 2, consultation, the grade report. The young man is the student. The woman is the employee. A grade report is your list of grades, right? Every semester, you get a list online, every course, A, B, hopefully mostly. I don't know about Hongdae. I know in my university, sometimes we would get it in a document. I think here too, you get a paper document. You can print it out, or maybe the university sends it to you. Now you're going to hear the word quarter here. In American universities, many of them, some of the ones I went to, used a quarter system. Like, each season, you'd have a fall quarter, was the first one. You'd have a winter quarter was the second one. You'd have a spring quarter, the third one. And then you'd have a summer quarter, which was usually optional, summer school. 4 quarters. Quarter means, like 4 or 1/4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters, 1 year. Semester, semi, S-M-E-I, means half. So a semester is half, 1, 2. So anyway, don't be confused. Just think of quarter kind of like semester here. Go ahead. Okay, why does the student go to the office? The first thing he says, always listen right at the beginning very closely. I have a problem and I hope you could help. That's it. He needs help for his problem. What is help for a problem? Number 3, B, a solution. Help, solution. Problem, solution. Number 4, the topic. Well, again, you go up right away. I haven't received my grade report from last quarter, and my friends have already received their grade report. Now, what is this grade report he's waiting for? It is an official university document. Number 4 is D. It's missing. I didn't receive it. It's missing. Where is it? This is the problem. I'm looking for a solution. Please, can you help me find a solution for my problem? All right. Okay, when we review the listening parts together, I encourage you to listen again after. I strongly encourage it. Okay, you do the work, answer the questions. Next week, I will go over them with you, go through them by reading. You can listen while we review. You can read the script while we review. But I strongly recommend that now that we've gone over it a lot, you've heard what I had to say, I've given you some good clues, listen again. It doesn't take that long. Okay, when I finished when you finished watching the video, go back and listen, or pause the video, go back and listen all the way through. And as you're listening, practice listening for the key points, noticing the points that I made, noticing the words that I said to focus on. Maybe look at your notes or even take notes again. But if you really want to improve your listening, repetition is important because it helps you create a very good study habit, create a very good technique for listening, okay? It's just like a baseball player. If you want to be a good hitter, do you swing one time? No. Baseball players will practice again and again and again and again, hitting different pitches, getting into a good stance. Okay, repetition is very important for developing good study habits. And then when you have good study habits, you have good test habits. All right, good work, everyone. That's all for this week. Great job. So your homework, again, do passages 3 and 4 up to page 1 on page 129. Okay, do those on your own, and I'll review them next week, and then stop there. And don't forget the reading and that review passage, Coral Colonies. So get all your work done, and just tell me it's done. Ask any questions or problems that you have, and tell me your time for Coral Colonies. We'll go over everything in next week's video lecture. Great work, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'll see you soon. I look forward to getting your email. Have a good week. Bye-bye.